So, welcome to the first session of our webinar series titled Computer-Aided Technologies Unleashed, Design, Simulate, Manufacture. So, all right, now that most of us are here, let's get started. So, I'm Hannah Maika Bohas, Marketing Associate at Line Seiki, and I'll be your host for today's session. So, today's session is titled the Di- wait, okay, The Digital Thread Begins, unifying CAD, CAE, and CAM. So we will explore how seamlessly integrating computer-aided design, engineering, and manufacturing can significantly enhance your workflows. So here's our session highlights for today. Here's what you can look forward to. So an introduction to the 3C workflow, a brief overview of product lifecycle management, and insights into the real value of full integration. So, whether you're part of a design team, working in manufacturing, or overseeing processes as a manager, this session is packed with takeaways for you. So, here's a quick reminders. So, before we begin, just a few quick reminders for this. So, the session will run from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And we kindly ask everyone to stay muted throughout the session to avoid background noise. But if you have concerns or questions, feel free to raise your hand and open your microphone. So if you have questions at any point, don't hesitate to use our chat box, and we will get to them during our Q&A segment later. Next, we also encourage respectful and professional communication in the chat. And this webinar is being recorded and may be shared on our social media pages and official website. And yes, this session po is free. So please take full advantage of the content and insights being shared. Feel free to absorb as much knowledge as you can. So I'm excited to share with you what this session will be. Okay. And now, it's now my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today. He is a graduate of BS Mechanical Engineering at PUP Manila and is currently pursuing his master's degree in Computational and Applied Mechanics at UP Diliman. With over 8 years of experience as the lead mechanical design engineer at Line Seiki, he has been instrumental in the full product development life cycle. His work spans mechanical and electromechanical products, equipment, and testers. He is also a technical trainer in advanced mechanical design and simulation, and his commitment to learning has taken him internationally, spending 2 years in Japan, where he became a member of the Japan Society of Mechanical Engineers. In 2016, he took the PRC Mechanical Engineering Board exam and was recognized as a top 1 ME pre-board examinee at the Prime Review Center, where he later became a lecturer, helping guide future engineers in subjects like mathematics, engineering sciences, power plant engineering, and machine design. He also served as a committee member of the PSME Advanced Level Engineer Registration for ASEAN APEC engineers from 2021 to 2022 and has been a technical speaker at the PSME National Conference for 3 consecutive years, bridging knowledge between industry and academia. In 2021, he served as board of director for the PSME Mechanical Design and Fabrication Technical Division and is a pioneer member of the Finite Element Institute of the Philippines, mentored by DOST Balik scientist Dr. Vicente D. Reyes. Together, they co-authored a book on phase simulation tailored for both academic and industrial use. He also trains and consults for DOST, conducting basic to intermediate finite element analysis, training for staff at the Industrial Technology Development Institute and MIRDC. So let's give a virtual round of applause and welcome Engineer Danielle Flores to take us through the digital thread begins unifying CAD, CAE, and CAM. So welcome, Engineer Dan.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. So thank you very much for the introduction, Miss Hannah.
Yes.
So allow me to
Thank you so
share
much.
my screen. Yeah. Can everyone see my screen now?
Yes.
So as mentioned by the host, this is a webinar series wherein we'll be discussing more about computer-aided technologies um, with considering design, simulation, and manufacturing, wherein some tools that being used in the industry, particularly for CAD, CAE, and CAM, will be integrated together. So, but for this first session, we will be focusing on um, this. The digital thread begins, wherein we will try to give you an introduction on how integration of these different tools will help you in your product development. So I hope we will make this as short as possible, but I hope you will learn a lot from this and gain some insights for your organization. So for today's session, our objective is to just to give you an introduction on the concept of the so-called digital thread. So I'm not sure if you have heard this term and how integrating these three different tools for CAD, CAE, CAM will help you build a seamless and smarter product development cycle, thereby reducing your errors during the product development and could have savings in costs and reducing the time to market of your product. For today's session, this will be our outline. So let's have some introduction first on the digital thread. And let's discuss separately those three tools, the CAD, computer-aided design, the CAE, or the computer-aided engineering, the CAM, or the computer-aided manufacturing, and let's combine those to close the loop from end-to-end workflow of the product development. So I will be sharing also some a case study, which is a recent project that we did. This is not yet a product, but actually an equipment that we developed here at Lineseki. And I'll be sharing to you some of our computer-aided technologies that we are promoting. So let's start. First, let's discuss what is digital thread. So digital thread refers to the unified data ecosystem that links every phase. So every phase or every stage of the product life cycle. So from the initial conceptualization to final production and beyond. Okay? So it connects design, simulation, manufacturing, and other stages, ensuring all stakeholders have access to the most current or latest or relevant real-time information or data. So it ensures, so this connectivity is vital, especially in today's data-driven industries, wherein the speed, precision, and collaboration are paramount. Just to give you a short history, so the concept of digital thread originated, I guess, way back 2013 during the development of F-35, I guess, by the United States Air Force. I'm not sure if you have heard this one, but probably you heard the term digital twin. They are different in some sense. So digital twins covers the design and the operational data of a certain physical um, equipment, while the digital thread deals with the entire product life cycle. Okay. So it aims to signify the digitalization and traceability throughout the product's lifespan. So for the digital twin, some of the requirements deals with the geometry, performance data, and behavior models. And on the other hand, for digital thread, it deals with the design up to manufacturing and even up to maintenance and beyond of the product life cycle. So the purpose of the two for the digital twin is to simulate the behavior of the equipment in real time, considering the actual conditions. And on the other hand, for digital thread, this is used to provide a complete and transparent view of the entire manufacturing system, end to end. Okay. So for the digital twin, this allows engineers and operators to monitor performance and identify system issues and anomalies, while the digital thread enables efficient collaboration and decision-making across all stages of the processes. So they link all digital twins capabilities, such as the design, the performance data, the product data, supply chain data, and software going into creating the product. Okay. The digital thread, in combination with digital twins, enables design requirements, records, and all the data that need to be used. So some of the tools that being used for this tool, for example, in digital twin, it uses some IoTs, machine learning, and some simulation software. And on the other hand, for digital thread, it uses the CAD, the model, and the product lifecycle management, which we'll be discussing later on, and the IoT sensors. So to give you an idea of the difference, probably a good example is for a digital twin, you want to monitor the performance of a certain wind turbine. On the other hand, if for the digital thread, you want to enable efficient collaboration for the manufacturing of certain aircraft. Okay, so how does it begin? The digital thread. So the digital thread starts with the unified data model from the CAD. Okay, the thread begins with the creation of the digital product using CAD tools. So this model becomes the single source of the truth, containing the geometry, the materials, and tolerances, and other annotations or technical information related to that model. So this initial design from the CAD representation is the foundation for the seamless flow of data across the subsequent stages, including the simulation or the CAE, the manufacturing or CAM or CAM, and other life cycle phases, which are often supported by the so-called PLM system. Not sure if you have heard this term. So the CAD is linked to the CAE for the simulation instead of duplicating the model. But sometimes we do some modifications on the model, on the actual model, in order to perform the simulation. So in this case, in that way, this will allow us for real-time design validation, feedback, elimination of data translation errors, and eventually, upon confirmation or validation of the design, this will be continued to the CAM or the manufacturing side. And then once validated, the same digital model that was produced on the CAD stage will be used to generate the, for example, in this case, the toolpaths for the CAM and the plan of manufacturing processes. And we could do some simulation for the machining or even additive processes. Now, what is PLM? PLM stands for Product Lifecycle Management. Okay, so PLM system manages and connects all the data by users and any other changes for the purpose of tracking the version history, revisions, and manages other aspects like approvals and workflows for linking different requirements, test result, designs, and production data. Now, these three tools, the CAD, CAE, and CAM, combined, it's called computer-aided technologies, or in short, CAX. Okay. So when you say computer-aided technologies, means this is the use of computer technology to aid in the design, analysis, and manufacturing of various products. Okay, so this three is under the PLM, or Product Lifecycle Management. Now, how do we compare the digital thread workflows with the conventional one? So with a typical conventional workflow, without considering the digital thread, is often linear, step-by-step, or the so-called over-the-wall method. and are usually isolated and disconnected, leading to some inefficiencies and communication breakdowns along the way. So this result to some disconnection from the CAD model, the simulation CAE, the CAM tools. So usually the CAD teams, I guess we have some participants here that are working as a draftsman, I guess. So some of the CAD team creates the design in one software. So that's the very typical procedure, right? And these files are being manually exported and sent to the CA team or the simulation team or the analyst in order to perform some simulation. And then once validated or verified by the analyst, this will be transferred or sent through the CAM or the manufacturing team for manufacturing purposes. So, but the sum of the risk of this process is the duplicate effort. So most of the time there's a version mismatch, right? And some risk of errors. Okay, so I hope you already gained some insights or introduction to digital thread. Now, let us discuss on the role of CAD. Okay, so what is the role of CAD or computer-aided technologies design in the digital thread? So CAD is where the digital thread begins. Okay, so it involves creating a detailed digital models or virtual copy of the physical product. So wherein using a CAD tool, it generates the initial design data, for example, the shape, the geometry, the materials, and the tolerances. So could you, just to make our discussion more collaborative, could you type your any software that you are currently using in your company, just to give us some idea? Let's see from the participants. What CAD software do you use in your organization? Autodesk Inventor, SolidWorks, yeah, AutoCAD, Fusion, yeah. So those are very common in the industry, right? SolidWorks, Autodesk, Fusion, what else? Solid Edge, I guess. So yeah, AutoCAD. Okay, so CAD is where the digital thread begins. Okay, it involves creating the digital model using those tools that you mentioned. Okay, now once the model was developed, okay, so how about the role of CAE, okay, in the digital thread? So using CAE builds on the CAD foundation. So using the model to perform some simulations in order to analyze or validate some design before. Okay, so the role of CAE is basically bridge the CAD and the manufacturing, the design and manufacturing. So because we want to make it right in the first place, right? We want to design it right at the early stage of the development in order to avoid some errors along the way of the product development. So CAE tools perform analysis to test performance under real-world conditions. Okay, so these are being used to answer some of the typical questions we encounter during the development, the what-if questions. For example, what if I change the dimension? What if I increase the diameter? What if I change the material? Right? So those are common questions that we encounter during the development. So those questions can be answered through simulations. So after the simulation, the result will be added to the digital thread to enrich the dataset in informing the design refinements. So some of the CAE tools, I'm not sure if you're using, could you comment down also if you are currently using any simulation tools in your organization? Is there any one from the participant? Yeah, so SolidWorks. So that's only the CAD embedded simulation. Anyone else from the participants? yeah, so I guess that's the proof that the simulation technology is not yet really readily available in the Philippines, right? So anyway, so the result, for example, the stress in this example for the first image, this is a stress distribution. And on the second image, this is a temperature profile distribution of the part. So through simulation, this creates the so-called feedback loop, wherein the simulation insights will drive the design improvements or any changes within the design prior or before the manufacturing. Now, although this is a very powerful tool, there's also a risk in using engineering simulation. So take, for example, this one. So let's make this more collaborative, interactive discussion. Could you mention some of the differences you could see from these two images? What do you think? So these are the same part performed, the same simulation, the same analysis, but different software. Because I heard someone mentioned before that they said the simulation or the tools or the software is uh, not not critical. They said not critical for the especially for the decision making. So let's take for example this one. So could you find any difference from these two images? Anyone from the participants? Because at the end of the day, simulation is just a tool. So you must know how to use or utilize the tool. Right? Because technology is useless without the right people behind it. So take, for example, this one. Using a certain tool, could you identify any differences based on the result plot? More tension, load, stress on the right pole. Okay, more tension. Different maximum stress value. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so first of all, you can see the values, the maximum value is different, right? So on the left side, the maximum value is at 234.5 megapascal, while on the other side, the result is 205 megapascal only. Okay. So what is the risk of those differences? Okay, so for example, just to give you an insight, the material property or the strength of the material is at, say, 200, say 220 or 210 megapascal. Okay, so considering, for example, this is a brittle material. So on the left side, what you will, as an analyst, you will decide that this will result in a failure, right? While on the other side, 205 megapascal compared to the strength of, say, 220, so you will say that this will not fail, right? So yeah, that's the one big issue here, because simulation is a decision-making tool. So if the result is wrong, if the result of the simulation is wrong, it could provide you a wrong um, basis also. Okay. Aside from the value, you can notice also the difference in the location. So those are the two major risks, particularly at least in finite element or solid mechanics simulation. So what's the effect in terms of product development? Okay, although we will be discussing more about this on the succeeding webinar series that we will be conducting. So I hope you can still join us. But to answer the question, you can notice on the top part of the component, it does not show any increase in stress value, right? So those are the two major risks, the value and the location. So what's the effect in terms of design and manufacturing? So in terms of design, applying what we are discussing here is, of course, the obvious way is to modify the component, right? So based on the result of the simulation. So for example, on the left side, since the result is way beyond the strength of the material, what you will do is typically you will just modify or increase the dimension in order to uh, reduce the stress value, right? Or in terms of the location, since you can see here on the left side, there's no other critical um, location based on the stress result. So what you will do probably on the you will not make any revision, but in reality you will be surprised. Probably there's a deflection or deformation or even failure on the actual because you were not able to capture the actual stress distribution. So those are the risks of using and how it relates to the um, digital thread. Okay. Now, after the validation or verification using the simulation, let's move to the role of CAM in the digital thread. So the CAM brings the digital thread into the physical world. Okay. So by translating the validated or verified design using simulation into manufacturing instructions. Okay. So the CAM software generates the tool paths, okay, and programs for the machine like CNC, 3D printers, and robotic arms. CAM uses the finalized CAD model and the CAE data to create a precise manufacturing plans, how to produce the component or the product. So the digital thread ensures that the upstream changes, okay? The digital thread ensures that any upstream changes along on the development updates the manufacturing instructions in real time. Okay, of course, you don't want to manufacture not updated design, right? So the production data, for example, the machine performance, quality matrix is being fed back into the digital thread for continuous improvement. So this is where the prototyping comes in. Okay, so in our company, we have now our in-house CAM or CAM. So we can instantly produce our designs that are also have been validated by simulation. Okay, so the CAM can also be expanded to some other applications. So I guess we also have a lot of participants related to electronics, right? Okay. So for this can also be used for creating PCB prototypes, because most of the time, at least based on our experience, the minimum lead time to produce a certain PCB is at least 2 weeks up to 1 month. Okay, so it will take, you need to wait certain duration in order to validate your design. So, but through such technology, you can now validate your design. Okay. Now, how does the digital thread connects this through three tools? This CAD, CAE, or CAM. So there are 3C. Okay. So the digital thread acts as the backbone. So it unifies the three tools, the CAD, CAE, and the CAM, into an interconnected workflow. So seamless data flow. The data moves effortless between different stages, from the design stage, creating the model, and the CAE, virtually testing the model, and the CAM or CAM for producing it. Okay, so all the teams should reference the same up-to-date information. So by reduced. In that way, the errors and rework will be reduced. So some real-time updates, a change, for example, a change in one phase, for example, in CAD. So, for example, the designer made some revision of the design. It should automatically updates the others and maintain the alignment all throughout the different stages. Okay. So here, this is one of the example. Okay, how to close the loop of end-to-end workflow. Okay, how the digital thread connects these three. So in this example, we designed a injection machine, desktop injection machine. So one of the component is here, the yellow one, the bracket. Okay. So it starts from the CAD or the design, and then some validation studies using simulation. Okay, and then using the CAM for the production. So along the way, there's an iteration, okay, or modification from the design, comparing considering the result of the simulation. For example, in this case, for example, we made some weight reduction, but without sacrificing the strength. Okay. Another component, aside from stress simulation, is the temperature. So in here, upon manufacturing the actual part, we encountered some problem on the temperature distribution. Okay. So wherein the temperature or the heat travels into other components, which should not. So we made some modification along the way, and we performed some optimization studies on the temperature or thermal analysis, okay, to optimize the design of the holder of the heater. Okay. So PLM, or the product lifecycle management, is the overarching system, wherein PDM, if you have heard the term PDM, or the product data management, is the core component. Okay. PLM often integrates with the other system as shown. Okay. So what we have discussed, the CAD, the CAE, CAM, is actually under the PDM, or the product data management. Other aspect under PLM includes ERP, which is the Enterprise Resource Planning, and the MES, or the Manufacturing Execution System. But what we are focusing is more of here in the PDM, which includes the integration of these three tools, the CAD, CAE, and CAM. So the thread basically starts with the product innovation chain, which is including this one on the engineering side, and going to the enterprise value and to asset. Now, just to give you an idea, what we are using is also Autodesk. So we use Bolt Basic for the PLM system. So how about in your company or organization? Could you type in our chat box what PLM system or software do you use? Okay. So within this, one source of the data improves the collaboration within the team. Okay. So it promotes feedback loop. For example, the simulation results refines the design or the manufacturability, influencing the CAD. Okay. So they're always related to each other. The PLM, or the product lifecycle management, is a system that combines product data management, PDM, with some other system like cloud-based PLM. I guess Fusion has a cloud-based management system of the product lifecycle from the start or the beginning of the product development up to the end. Okay. Now, what is the value of integrating these tools? Okay, from the design to analysis up to the manufacturing. So through integrating these tools, okay, obviously at the end of the day, what we want is to have some saving in terms of cost and time, right? And at the same time, you want to optimize your product performance, okay, by performing some analysis or simulation of your design in order to improve the processes or the manufacturability of your design. So it also promotes the so-called do it right the first time. I'm not sure if you have heard this one. So as much as possible, we want to make the design right at the first time or at the beginning of the product development. So always remember that the design or the first stage of the thread, which is the CAD or the design, which composed of, for example, the geometry, the shape, the dimension, the tolerances, will have a domino effect along the way. Okay, for example, on the manufacturing side, the process that you need to manufacture such design, the required MOQ, the costs, and other department will also be affected because they will be the one who will transact with the suppliers or the vendors, right? And other effect will be on the quality. So based on your design, example, how you dimension a certain part or component will affect the inspection processes, the tools that will be used, or the calibration, eventually affecting the other department like the QA and QC department. And also, the design that you will be making will be affecting the assembly. For example, the method that is needed to assemble the components, the product, the jigs and fixtures that is needed, and the time it takes to assemble the product. So in that case, the production will also be affected. And also the user, the customer, based on your design, the installation, the operation, and even the life or reliability of your product will also be affected. So in that case, the collaboration or integration of such tools or applying the method that we discussed is very important, especially on the early stage of the product development. So as I have shown a while ago, this is some example of case studies. This is an actual project we have recently developed, and the injection machine, a desktop version. So we use this for prototyping low volume plastic injection parts or components. So as discussed, through the development of this, we were able to optimize some of the components or parts, and we were able to do it right in the first iteration through the help of this method. So from the beginning, from the CAD design, the component, by optimizing, for example, in the stress analysis and even the temperature, and then manufacturing the actual part using our manufacturing capabilities. Okay, so just to give you some idea, some of the computer-aided technologies that we have, considering what we have discussed, CAD, CAE, CAM. So for CAD, we have capabilities both in mechanical and electronics and even electromagnetics. We have recent projects related to electromagnetics. And in terms of CAE, we have advanced capabilities using some of the gold standard simulation tools in the industry. And for CAM, we have also different technologies for low volume prototyping. So for mechanical, we even do our own testers. For example, environmental tester. Example, this one. This is an actual shock tester. Or even for endurance tester or life testing requirements. And even some function tester required by the production department or QA department. And in terms of electronics, okay, we also have capabilities from hardware, software, and even IoTs. We have developed our own technology for wireless monitoring. For electromagnetics, we also recently um, have a project, actual products. And for CAE, just to give you an insights on what we will be discussing more on the upcoming series, which probably will be focusing more on simulation. For example, some of the linear structural analysis. So as far as we know, we are the first, and we are currently the only, I guess, industry that utilizes MEC Nastran and even the advanced multiphysics simulations. So these are some actual studies that we have conducted, and some advanced nonlinear multiphysics, which we'll be exploring more. And for electronics, yeah, so from PCB, signal integrity, and some other simulations related to electronics. So we will also be discussing more about this. So as a summary and key takeaways, um, beginning the digital thread, this starts the model in CAD, which are being enriched through the CAE simulations, and eventually it will be directly utilized in CAM production. And the digital thread begins or starts with a unified product model in CAD, simulation, up to manufacturing, creating a closed loop system that supports innovation and agility. And PLM serves as the backbone, or the product lifecycle management serves as the backbone that enables the digital thread connecting people's or stakeholders, processes, and data that is related to the certain project. And through integrating these tools, um, we may reduce the errors and accelerate the time to market. Okay, so yeah, just to give you some insight also on our capabilities. Some of the capabilities are in the capabilities of Klein Seiki, which are now being offered externally also, includes, as mentioned, mechanical, electromagnetic, electronics, and even in application programming, IoTs, and low volume prototyping. So yeah, so if you have any questions, please contact us, or you could type your questions in the chat box. And I would like to take the advantage also to invite you to come visit us in the PSMEX exhibit this coming May 8 to 10. So we'll be at booth number 50. So I hope I was able to give you some insights, and I hope this will be the start of potential, probably collaboration, partnership with you. So thank you for joining. But so if you have any questions, you can type in the chat box. But also, um, allow me to have some question. So let's have some poll. Which aspect of the 3C workflow, CAD, CAE, or CAM, do you find most challenging to integrate into your current processes, and why? So yeah, let's see. If you have any question, you can type in the meeting chat. Yeah. So again, as mentioned, this is just a introduction for a series of webinar that we plan to conduct. So I hope you follow us on our social media pages for the announcement on the next webinars. So we plan to focus more on simulation. So I guess there's a feedback form or attendance form from the host, Miss Hannah. Okay, so allow me to create. Yeah, so the link for the attendance and is already in the meeting chat. But if you have any question, feel free to message so we could discuss before we end our today's session. Yeah, so I hope you could also join. So let's see which aspect of the 3C workflow, CAD, either the CAD, CE, or CAM, do you find most challenging to integrate within your organization? So we already have 4 responses, 5, 6. So that's why we are actually aiming to um, focus more on simulation technology, promoting the simulation technology. So I hope you could join us on the next sessions. So we aim to make this a monthly webinar session, probably every last week of the month. Okay, so we have here 88% says CAE. So do you have any questions from the participants? Please feel free to chat. Do you have any questions or inquiries? So again, this session is just an overview or introduction to more detailed discussion for the upcoming events. So you can unmute, or you can also unmute if you have any questions. So I guess while waiting for your questions, you could take some pictures from the post.
Thank you so much, Sir Dan. That was a deep dive with so many practical insights. So, and with that, we have reached the end of our session. And let's take some photo op.
Maybe we request everyone to open their camera.
If you're comfortable, I would like to request also. So please turn on your camera. So we're just going to take a quick group photo. So we'll give a few seconds to get camera ready. So are you ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3, smile. Yan. So one more again. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, smile. Yan. Thank you so much. So if you haven't already dropped some questions, go ahead. So you can this is your chance to clarify and comment or even share your own experiences. So do you have any questions? The floor for Q&A session is open.
So we have here 90% says CAE. They find it very challenging to integrate to their system. So I guess I'll give some comment about this. So I guess it's actually mostly because of the educational background that we have here, which are still not yet fully integrating simulation technology, particularly in engineering. So yeah, that's why the industry is still having difficulty to integrate this, because it's at the end of the day, it's really difficult to integrate something that you don't have any experience or background, right? So yeah, any questions? So we have a total of around 40 participants, I guess. So I hope you fill out the form for the attendance and for the purposes so that we could send you the copy of your e-certificate if you need.
Hello po.
Hi, hello.
Puwede po magtanong po?
Ayos.
Yung ano pong software yung ginagamit niyo po na pang-simulate po?
Yeah, so as mentioned, we use MSc Nastran and Abacus. We use MSc Nastran for linear structural analysis and Abacus for nonlinear multiphysics simulations.
Thank you po.
So I guess that's all for today's session. So I hope you can join us again for the upcoming sessions.
Thank you,
Miss
Sir Dan. Thank you so much, Engineer Danielle Flores, for such a comprehensive and engaging talk. So I'm sure we're all walking away with a better understanding of how the integration of CAD, CAE, and CAM truly creates a powerful digital thread across engineering workflows. So to everyone who joined us today, thank you so much for spending your morning with us. We hope you found this session insightful and valuable. And of course, if you have any follow-up questions or thoughts, feel free to reach out. So to receive your e-certificate, please make sure you have filled out the form. The link of attendance and survey form is in the chat box. So don't forget to fill it out before you leave. So again, don't forget also that this session was recorded and will be shared soon through our official channels. And yeah, so stay tuned. So actually, this is the first of many sessions in our computer-aided technologies unleashed series, and we can't wait to have you join us again. So keep an eye on your inbox and our social media pages for details on the next session. So Yeah, thank you so much. Once again, this is Hannah Micah Boss, your host for today. Stay inspired, stay innovative, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.